The most confusing moment of my life was watching Princess Amora walk past 10 tall, handsome, wealthy young men who could build kingdoms, and kneel in front of a short, quiet man barely taller than her waist. I was there. I saw everything. My name is Misozi, and I've been a maid in the royal palace of Kisongo since I was 16. I fetched water, cleaned floors, and helped dress the princess when her favorite handmaids were off duty. She was the only child of King Zubri, a wise but aging king who had no sons. Everyone knew Amora's husband would likely become the next ruler. The whole village waited for her to choose. The king had invited suitors from across regions, sons of chiefs, traders, and warriors. They arrived with their chests up, teeth white, robes clean, and smiles trained. All of them were taller than 6 feet and looked like they were carved from wood. One even brought a lion on a leash. No joke. But then there was Kolonji. The one no one understood. A dwarf. He came alone, without drums or gifts. His legs were bent, his arms short, and his eyes looked like they were always calculating something. Most people thought he was a jester or maybe a relative of a real suitor. But he stepped forward like the rest. The king laughed at first. So did the crowd. But Princess Amora didn't. She kept her eyes on Kolonji, as if she had seen him in a dream. I helped her dress the morning she was to choose her husband. She was quiet. No makeup. No necklace. Just her usual white robe and a calm face. "Don't you think it's strange, all this noise about marriage?" she asks, adjusting her waist beats. I smiled and said nothing. Servants don't speak too much in matters of royalty. Later that day, under the big baobab tree in the palace square, the 10 suitors stood in a line. Kolonji stood last, like an afterthought. Drums beat. The air was tight with expectation. The king called out, "Amora, daughter of Zubri, choose the one your heart calls husband." She walked past the first, past the second, past the third and fourth. People started to murmur when she passed the 6th and 7th. By the 9th, the whispers were turning to laughter. When she passed the 10th and turned toward Kolonji, the whole crowd gasped. And then, she knelt in front of him. Silence. Even Kolonji looked shocked. The king's face froze. And I, standing by the water pots, nearly dropped my calabash. But Amora stood, held his hand, and said, "This is the one who saw me when I was sick and hidden. When I had boils and no one came close. He cleaned my wounds." He didn't flinch. She turned to the crowd and added, "Many saw a throne. He saw a person." Later, when we were alone, I asked her, "But he's not like the others." She looked at me and said something I'll never forget. "They loved how I looked when I was shining. He loved how I looked when I was broken. Now they rule together. No one mocks Kolonji anymore. And honestly, the kingdom has never been more peaceful." That day taught me something. Not all love stories look the way we expect. And sometimes, the shortest man in the room carries the longest truth.